The secret project. For years, humanity had been considered a small, insignificant part of the galaxy, barely noticed by the great alien empires that ruled the stars. Earth was a quiet, remote planet on the edge of known space, and humans were seen as primitive, never expected to become a threat to the vast, powerful galactic civilizations. But beneath the surface of Earth's peaceful existence, something was happening. A secret project, hidden from the eyes of the galaxy, was taking shape, a project that would change everything. The idea was born in the deepest corners of Earth's military command. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders had worked together, in secrecy, knowing that the day would come when humanity would need to defend itself. Over the years, they had studied alien technology, reverse engineering it to unlock its secrets. Slowly, piece by piece, they began to build the most advanced warships the galaxy had ever seen. But these ships weren't like any other. The project was a long-term one, designed to create something beyond imagination. Planet-sized warships. These ships would be so large, so powerful, that no other race in the galaxy would stand a chance against them. Yet, as the ships took shape, they remained hidden, cloaked in secrecy. The ships were built in secret space stations, far from prying eyes, under layers of complex shields and technology that kept them undetectable. For decades, the ships were carefully constructed. The people working on the project knew the risks of being discovered, and they worked tirelessly in silence, knowing that their efforts would be the last line of defense for humanity. Each ship was designed to be self-sustaining, capable of operating independently for years without any outside support. Their engines were fueled by a combination of alien technology and human ingenuity, giving them speed and power far beyond anything humanity had ever created. At the heart of each warship was an energy core, a marvel of science that combined the most advanced power sources humanity had ever developed with energy harnessed from the galaxy's most powerful stars. These cores gave the ships their incredible strength. They were capable of firing beams of energy strong enough to destroy entire fleets and even planets. But the ships weren't just weapons. They were also symbols of humanity's potential and their determination to rise above their past. Deep within one of Earth's most secure military facilities, Captain Emma Hayes was leading the final phase of the project. She had spent years overseeing the construction and development of the ships. She knew that when the time came, humanity's survival would depend on their ability to use these weapons wisely. The Excalibur, the first planet-sized warship, was ready. Its engines were fully functional, its weapons systems primed for action, and its crew was prepared to sail into space and fulfill their mission. "Captain," said Lieutenant Cora, looking over the final schematics on her console, "we're ready. The Excalibur is fully operational, but we're still missing one thing." "What's that?" Emma asked, walking over to Cora's side. Cora hesitated before answering. "It's been over 20 years, Captain. We've kept this project a secret for so long, but if anyone finds out about this ship, it could change everything. The galaxy will never see us as anything other than a threat." Emma nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. The warships they had built were more than just powerful, they were a symbol of everything humanity could achieve. But they were also a weapon that could potentially lead to war with the rest of the galaxy. She knew they had to be careful. They couldn't risk their secret being exposed prematurely. "The galaxy doesn't know about us yet," Emma said, her voice calm but full of purpose. "We've built these ships in secret, and we'll keep them hidden for as long as possible. But when the time comes, we'll show them what humanity is capable of. Until then, we stay in the shadows. The Excalibur was only the beginning. There were others massive ships, each one built with a specific purpose. Some were designed for attack, others for defense, and some for reconnaissance. But all of them were far beyond anything the galaxy's empires could ever imagine. Each ship had the firepower to take on entire fleets, and the ability to stand against anything the galaxy could throw at them. As Emma watched the final preparations being made on the Excalibur, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The sheer scale of the ship was enough to make her feel small in comparison. The Excalibur was not just a ship, was a piece of humanity's future, and that future would be decided by the men and women who commanded it. Ready to launch in 30 minutes. Captain, Cora said, snapping Emma back to the present. Emma looked out the window at the vast expanse of space before them. Earth was just a speck in the distance, and beyond it lay the galaxy. It was a galaxy that had never noticed humanity's presence before. But now, with the Excalibur ready to move, the galaxy was about to see humanity in a way it never had before. "Let's make history," Emma said, her voice firm with resolve. The Excalibur's engines roared to life, and as it began to ascend, the galaxy's first planet-sized warship vanished into the dark void of space. The project, once thought impossible, was now a reality. Humanity's secret weapon was on its way, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. But one thing was certain: the galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. The first encounter that Excalibur had left Earth's atmosphere, its immense size barely fitting into the star-filled expanse of space. As it drifted further into the unknown, it was a quiet, unseen giant, still undetected by any other race. The ship's cloaking system, built with a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, kept it hidden from prying eyes. Only a select few humans knew of its existence, and they had sworn to keep it that way at least until the time was right. Captain Emma Hayes stood on the bridge of the Excalibur, her fingers lightly grazing the console as she watched the stars rush by. She felt an odd sense of peace as they glided through the void, but it was accompanied by an unsettling knowledge. Once the Excalibur was revealed, the galaxy would never be the same. The immense power contained within the ship's walls could change the course of the universe, but it could also bring humanity into direct conflict with the galaxy's most powerful empires. "Captain, we're approaching the first checkpoint." Lieutenant Cora's voice broke the silence as her fingers danced across the control panel. "The nearby systems are clear. No signs of alien fleets." "Good," Emma replied, her eyes scanning the space beyond them. "Proceed with caution. I want to avoid any encounters until we've fully mapped out the area." They continued on their course, crossing vast stretches of uncharted space. The ship's sleek, massive frame moved smoothly, almost ghost-like, through the galaxy. The crew worked diligently, calibrating systems, monitoring power, and making adjustments to ensure everything ran smoothly. The Excalibur was humanity's last line of defense. Its creators had poured everything into it. The mission ahead wasn't just to test its capabilities, but to prove that humanity could stand on equal footing with the greatest powers of the galaxy. But as the minutes turned to hours, Emma's instincts, sharpened by years of military experience, told her something was wrong. The systems were too quiet. It was too easy. No alarms, no activity. It was as if the universe itself had gone still. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus's voice came through, his tone more serious than usual. "We're picking up an anomaly. It's faint, but it's coming from the edge of the next system." "I can't." make out the exact signature, but it's definitely not natural. Emma's stomach tightened. What do you mean, not natural? I don't know yet, but it's like an energy source, some kind of disruption in the normal energy readings. We could be dealing with an alien ship, one we haven't encountered before. Emma felt a pang of unease, but she didn't let it show. Increase speed. Get us out of this region as fast as possible. Let's avoid contact if we can. But it was too late. The anomaly shifted, and before anyone could react, a signal came, through the unmistakable pulse of an incoming alien fleet. Dozens of ships, larger than anything humanity had ever seen, were now heading straight for them. They weren't just random ships. They were military-grade vessels, each one more powerful than any human-made warship. The Excalibur had just stumbled upon a battle-ready alien fleet, and they weren't about to let the human warship slip by unnoticed. Alert the crew, Emma commanded. Prepare for immediate combat. Full weapon systems online. The engines roared to life, and the ship moved with the grace and precision of a predator. The crew sprang into action, activating the ship's most powerful weapons. In the blink of an eye, the Excalibur's massive cannons powered up, the hull glowed with energy, and the entire ship seemed to come alive. The first shots from the alien fleet rang out massive energy blasts that shook the ship to its core. But the Excalibur's shields held firm, absorbing the energy and redirecting it back to the ship's systems. Shields at full capacity, Cora said, her voice calm, despite the rising tension. But we can't keep this up forever, Captain. They're strong. Return fire, Emma said, her voice steady. We've got one shot at this. Hit them with everything we've got. The Excalibur's weapon systems fired back, sending a barrage of energy beams straight at the advancing alien fleet. The beams hit the enemy ships with devastating accuracy, tearing through their shields and creating massive explosions. The Excalibur was powerful, more powerful than anything the alien fleet had ever encountered. But the aliens weren't backing down, they were relentless. We've got them on the run, Marcus said, watching as several ships began to retreat into deep space, their systems damaged beyond repair. But there are more coming. This is just the beginning. Emma's mind raced. We can't let them regroup. Prepare for another strike. We'll hit them before they can call for reinforcements. The Excalibur moved forward, cutting through space like a comet on a mission of vengeance. The alien ships, unable to withstand the relentless firepower of the human warship, began to scatter. One by one, their ships were destroyed, reduced to burning wreckage in the void of space. But just as it seemed like the battle was won, something unexpected happened. A massive, heavily armored ship appeared at the edge of the battle. It was unlike any ship Emma had seen before, its surface black and reflective, like a dark mirror. This ship wasn't retreating, it was charging straight for them. This one's different, Marcus said, his voice low with awe. It's massive. It must be their flagship. Prepare to engage, Emma ordered, her tone resolute. We finish this now. The Excalibur powered up its most advanced weapons, aiming all its firepower at the flagship. The two ships collided in a storm of energy, their weapons lighting up the darkness of space. The final battle for supremacy had begun, and neither side was prepared to back down. The Excalibur had just taken its first steps into the galaxy, and already it was shaking the very foundation of power. What the aliens didn't realize was that this was only the beginning. Humanity's warship had been awakened, and it was ready to take its place in the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity's first victory, The battle between the Excalibur and the alien flagship was like nothing the galaxy had ever witnessed. The two massive ships, locked in combat, tore through space with devastating force. The Excalibur, a ship that had once been a secret buried deep within humanity's military projects, now stood as a force of nature, a weapon capable of leveling entire fleets in mere moments. Its weapons fired with pinpoint accuracy, tearing into the enemy flagship, but the alien ship was no slouch. It fired back, sending massive blasts that shook the Excalibur to its core, shields holding at 60%. Captain, Lieutenant Cora reported, her fingers moving quickly across the controls. But they're hitting us harder than we expected. Emma's face was set in a grim expression. Keep those shields up as long as we can. We're not backing down now. Hit them with the full force of the Excalibur. The ship responded, its weapons glowing brighter with every pulse of energy. The battle was now a brutal dance, with the two titanic ships exchanging strikes, each one pushing the other to its limits. The alien flagship was larger, its hull reinforced with layers of armor unlike anything humanity had encountered. But the Excalibur was faster, more agile, and it had the advantage of surprise. For every hit the alien flagship delivered, the Excalibur countered with devastating efficiency. In the heart of the battle, Marcus watched as the energy readings on his screen spiked again. "Captain, we've got an opportunity," he said urgently. "Their left shield is weakening. If we hit it with the main cannon, we can breach their defenses." "Do it," Emma ordered, without hesitation. "This is our chance." The main cannon, a massive weapon designed to unleash the full might of humanity's alien-enhanced technology, powered up. With a deafening roar, a beam of pure energy shot forward, striking the alien flagship's weakened shield. The energy blasted through the barrier, striking the hull of the flagship with such force that it seemed to ripple through the entire ship. For a moment, everything went silent, then the flagship's hull exploded in a burst of light, sending debris scattering across space. The alien ship's engines flickered, its power systems failing. The flagship was no more. A cheer erupted among the crew of the Excalibur, but Emma remained focused. "Stay alert," she warned. "This isn't over yet. There may be more ships on the way." The alien fleet, though shaken by the destruction of their flagship, wasn't fully defeated. Several smaller ships, their designs nimble and fast, began to regroup, forming a new formation. They seemed to be trying to escape, but Emma knew they were just biding their time. They would come back, and they would come back stronger. This first victory was important, but it wasn't the end of the war. "Captain," Marcus said, his voice a little breathless with excitement, "we've got another fleet coming through a nearby hyperspace tunnel. They're not going to give us a break." "Get us out of here," Emma ordered, her tone decisive. "We've made our mark. Let's give them a chance to rethink things." The Excalibur's engines roared to life, and the ship began to move, slowly at first, then faster as it broke through the alien formation. The fleet of alien ships, now leaderless and disorganized, hesitated for a moment before pursuing. But they weren't prepared for the Excalibur's speed and precision. As the Excalibur entered deep space, it vanished from the immediate area, leaving the remaining alien forces to regroup. They didn't know where the ship had gone, but they knew this: humanity's first ship had just destroyed their strongest vessel, and now the galaxy would have to deal with the consequences. Back on Earth, the world's governments watched the battle unfold from the safety of their command centers. The first broadcast of humanity's secret weapon, the Excalibur, had been transmitted live to the entire planet. news of their victory spread like wildfire. Humanity, once thought weak and insignificant, had just revealed its true potential. But Emma and the Excalibur's crew knew this was only the beginning. They had made their mark, but the galaxy wasn't done with them yet. As Earth celebrated, Emma stood alone in the command center, watching the stars. The battle had been won, but she couldn't help but feel that the real fight was just beginning. Captain Cora said as she entered the room, her expression a mix of relief and worry. The galaxy's taking notice. We've just tipped the balance of power. Emma nodded. We've taken the first step, but it's a long road ahead. The galaxy will not let us go easily. But humanity isn't just going to survive. We're going to thrive. As she gazed out at the stars, Emma knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. The galaxy had been warned, and soon they would realize that humanity's rise had only just begun. The Galaxy Strikes Back humanity's first victory had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The Excalibur, a ship once hidden in secret, had just destroyed one of the most powerful fleets the galaxy had ever known. Its power, unmatched by any human-made weapon, had shattered the illusion of alien superiority. The great empires of the galaxy had been stunned, and the ripple effect of humanity's rise was just beginning. But as Emma Hayes and the crew of the Excalibur celebrated their success, they knew that this was only the beginning. The alien forces would not accept defeat quietly. They would regroup, they would adapt, and they would come back stronger than ever. And this time, humanity would have to face a galaxy that was both enraged and terrified of the new power they had unleashed. The Excalibur glided through space, its sleek hull cutting through the void. But as it drifted deeper into uncharted space, a new threat emerged. The alien empires, now united in their desire to crush humanity's growing power, had sent their most elite fleets after the Excalibur. These fleets were unlike any the crew had faced before, faster, stronger, and more ruthless. Captain Lieutenant Marcus reported, his voice tight with urgency. We're picking up multiple energy signatures alien fleets, and they're headed straight for us. They've learned from their defeat, and they're coming in full force. Emma's pulse quickened. She had known this day would come, but now, with the alien fleets closing in, humanity had to face the reality that their secret weapon had just painted a target on their backs. Ready all systems, Emma ordered. Weapons, shields, and engines. This is it. We fight for humanity's future, and we won't back down. The Excalibur powered up, its massive engines humming with power. The ship's hull glowed with energy as its weapons systems activated. The crew moved quickly, preparing for a battle that would determine not just their survival, but their place in the galaxy. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once, but now they were about to witness the true extent of their power. The alien fleets arrived in waves, their ships massive and formidable. But the Excalibur was no longer the underdog. With its enhanced weapons, powerful shields, and lightning-fast maneuverability, the ship tore through the incoming alien forces like a predator stalking its prey. Every shot from the Excalibur was calculated, precise, and devastating. Each enemy ship that was struck exploded into a ball of fire and debris. Yet, despite the Excalibur's overwhelming power, the alien fleets fought back fiercely. Their ships, though damaged, retaliated with advanced weaponry of their own, forcing the Excalibur into a brutal, high-stakes game of cat and mouse. The once unbeatable alien fleets, now fully aware of humanity's capabilities, had reformed into a powerful coalition, determined to wipe humanity off the galactic map. "We need to end this quickly," Cora said, her voice steady but filled with tension. "The Excalibur can take them, but we can't keep up this pace forever. Their numbers are overwhelming." Emma nodded, her eyes locked on the view screen. "I know. We need a strategy. We can't just rely on brute force. They're learning, adapting. We need to outsmart them." The Excalibur's weapons continued to fire, each shot sending a ripple of energy through space, but Emma's mind was already racing. She knew the ship's weapons couldn't keep firing indefinitely. She needed to think of a way to outmaneuver the alien fleets, something that would give humanity the upper hand once again. Then it came to her. "All crew members, prepare for a tactical jump," Emma commanded. "We're going to use their fear against them. It's time to show them what we're capable of." The Excalibur's engines hummed louder, and the ship's navigation systems shifted. The crew held their breath, unsure of Emma's plan. With the alien fleets closing in fast, they didn't have much time. "Captain, are you sure about this?" Marcus asked, his voice filled with disbelief. "A tactical jump in the middle of battle?" "Yes," Emma said firmly. "It's the only way. We're going to use their own fear to scatter their forces. Once we execute the jump, they'll think we're retreating. That's when we hit them with everything we have." The Excalibur's engines powered up to full capacity, and with a sudden surge of energy, the ship shot forward at unimaginable speeds, vanishing from the alien fleet's sensors. The enemies, expecting the ship to retreat, hesitated. It was their biggest mistake. As the Excalibur reappeared, they were already in position. The ship unleashed a barrage of concentrated fire, catching the alien fleets off guard. The precision and power of the Excalibur's weapons tore through the enemy ranks, cutting down entire ships in a matter of seconds. The alien fleets, now in disarray, tried to regroup, but it was too late. The humans had turned the tables, using their knowledge and strategic thinking to create the perfect trap. The remaining ships, unable to maintain cohesion, began to retreat in fear. "We did it," Marcus said, his voice filled with relief. "They're retreating." Emma stood tall, her eyes scanning the view screen as the remaining alien ships fled. "This battle is won," she said quietly, "but we've only just begun. The galaxy will never forget what humanity is capable of." As the Excalibur glided through space, Emma knew this victory would echo across the stars. Humanity had made its mark, and now the galaxy would know. Humanity would not back down. They had proven their strength, and they had the power to change the galaxy forever. The fight for control of the stars had only just begun, and humanity was ready to lead.